It is my privilege to bring this ceremony to order. Presenting our national colors is the New Hampshire Fallen Firefighters Memorial Honor Guard with the Professional Firefighters of New Hampshire's Pipe and Drum Corps.
Your command!
New Hampshire Firefighters, up to the front. Green Hill, Alabama, Alabama. By the right. Quick, forward.
Please remain standing for a presentation of our national anthem performed by Captain Meredith Lund.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. We will now ask the chaplain of the Hopkinton Fire Department, Lance Claggett, to present our invocation. Captain Ron Anstey who has done this many years as a chaplain and a retired member of the Londonderry Fire Department, is unable to be here today. His father is in a very serious condition. So let us remember him also in our prayers. Chaplain.
My prayers this afternoon will be in the historic tradition of the Christian faith. If you share that faith, I invite you to pray with me. If you do know and I do not, I trust you will allow me to pray for you. Let us pray. Our dear God and Father, it is in our weakness that your strength and power is revealed. And so we come before you this afternoon in this solemn hour, in this sacred place, to call upon you and to invite you to be present among us, to comfort, to strengthen, to heal. May this time of remembrance and memorial indeed be a time in which we not only honor the lives of those whose lives were lost, but we seek additional healing, a healing which at times, such as these, is indeed a very long journey. So we pray, O God, that you would join us and accompany us in that journey and draw near especially to the two families that are represented here today. We call upon you, O God, to be present among us and enable us and strengthen us and to bless us with your comfort. I pray in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Please be seated. It is truly an honor to be here today, and I'm very humbled by the experience. When I think of the dignitaries that are here and my brother and sister firefighters, it just makes you realize how fortunate we are to be in such great company. I welcome you here to the New Hampshire Fallen Firefighters Memorial. This is the heart and soul of this campus. This is where we all look when times get tough or it gets hard to do what we need to do. We can look over here and remember those that have gone before and why we do what we do. So please, let me welcome you here to your academy. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce now the Honorable Maggie Hassan, Governor of the great state of New Hampshire.
Well, good afternoon. And thank you, Chief Johnston, for your introduction. Thank you, everyone, for being here to honor the firefighters who have made the ultimate sacrifice to protect the citizens of the state of New Hampshire. I would also like to thank Commissioner Barthelmess, Fire Marshal Degnan, and all of the dedicated employees of the Department of Public Safety. as well as Chief Canterman and Heidi Packard from the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. We come together today to add the names of two New Hampshire heroes to this hallowed memorial, Chief Richard Schaefer of the Hopkinton Fire Department and Lieutenant James Clark of the Bedford Fire Department, and pay tribute as well to all of our firefighters who have lost their lives in the line of duty. These brave, selfless souls who courageously rushed into the flames and treacherous debris of burning and collapsed buildings, who rescued and provided emergency medical services to their fellow citizens, and who demonstrated the ultimate commitment to public service, will always serve as an inspiration to all of us. To Chief Schaefer's and Lieutenant Clark's families, please know that we will always hold you in our thoughts and in our prayers with the utmost gratitude for the sacrifices you have made, and with great pride in and appreciation for the resolve and character that you display every day. Words cannot express our sorrow for your loss, and we will always be here to offer our support and I hope our comfort as well. Although we only hold this ceremony once a year, the memory of our brave heroes is always with us, forever serving as a beacon of the strength and resiliency that defines the Granite State. By sacrificing their lives in service to their communities, each brave soul whose name is etched on the tablets of this memorial has exemplified the selfless dedication to duty, honor, and courage that are the defining traditions of all New Hampshire firefighters. And so we say thank you, not only to those who we memorialize today, but to all of the men and women who demonstrate heroism every day by courageously fighting fires, providing emergency services, and confronting other dangers to protect our families, our communities, and our state. We owe you all a never-ending debt of gratitude for ensuring our safety and the high quality of life that New Hampshire is known for. We also thank and recognize the families of our firefighters and acknowledge your daily sacrifices that allow your loved ones to serve. A firefighter's life is often difficult, and the family of those who serve is as well, as you juggle schedules, adjust to the interruptions that are a part of a first responder's life, and as you worry about the safety of your loved ones. But through it all, you make the necessary sacrifices to support these noble careers. To the families of our fallen heroes in particular, we want you to know that you have the continued support of the people of the Granite State. And by keeping the memories of your loved ones alive, we all grow stronger through the inspiration provided by their stories of selfless dedication and bravery. Public safety is the most important task of any government. Our people, our families, and our economy cannot thrive without safe communities. The New Hampshire Fallen Firefighters Memorial reminds us of how much we owe those who bravely rush into dangerous situations, and serves as an everlasting symbol of our deep appreciation for their sacrifices and their service. On behalf of all of the people of New Hampshire, I want to express our heartfelt gratitude to all of you, the fallen heroes we honor, all of our brave firefighters, and your families. Your dedication to our communities keeps New Hampshire safe and strong. To mark the sacrifices of the brave souls we memorialize here, I have proclaimed today Firefighters Memorial Day. And I have two proclamations here with us, and I will read the language from them. They are for the Schaefer and the Clark families. The proclamations read as follows. Whereas, in honor of the firefighters who have been killed or disabled in the line of duty, and of those still serving, the second Sunday in October of each year is proclaimed by law as Firefighters Memorial Day. And whereas firefighters exemplify the most time-honored American ideals of public service and sacrifice, protecting the citizens of our state, and whereas firefighters are highly trained and dedicated individuals who demonstrate an extraordinary caliber of character and courage in the face of danger, and whereas, without the expectation of recognition or applause, these brave men and women routinely risk their own lives in unpredictable and volatile situations to ensure the safety of their communities and fellow citizens. And whereas this year we add the names of Chief Richard Schaefer of the Hopkinton Fire Department and Lieutenant James Clark of the Bedford Fire Department to the New Hampshire Fallen Firefighters Memorial, today we recognize the courage and sacrifice of each of these individuals and honor their memories. Whereas the memories of these heroic men remind us of the many dangers firefighters face each day and the deep debt of gratitude we owe them for their selfless and courageous actions. Now, therefore, I, Margaret Wood Hassan, Governor of the State of New Hampshire, do hereby proclaim Sunday, October 13th, 2013, as Firefighters Memorial Day in the State of New Hampshire, and thank the firefighters across the state for their unyielding dedication and heroism. This is given this 13th day of October in the year of our Lord 2013 and the independence of the United States of America 238. Thank you all very much. You make me proud to be your governor.
Thank you, Governor Hassan. It is truly a privilege to be in a state with such fine, wonderful people who understand what it is that firefighters do. I would now like to introduce Commissioner John J. Bartholomew, the Commissioner of Safety, to say a few words.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Governor Hassan, for your words and your reflections. It's an honor to be here today as we honor New Hampshire's fallen firefighters, dedicated public servants committed to those they served. The memorial behind me and your presence here today ensures that those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to the community will not be forgotten. The name of each firefighter inscribed on the memorial has its own special story to tell, but they also have a common thread reminding us of why we are all here today. We're here to honor heroism. These firefighters understood the risk of their profession and each performed with resolute bravery and skill. We are here to honor sacrifice to one's community and to remember the men and women of the fire service who put their lives on the line each and every day. We are also here to remember the families, realizing that our words can offer you some comfort, but can never replace the loss of your loved ones. We offer our heartfelt condolences and a promise to never forget their sacrifice. Thank you for your courage and strength. To the men and women of the fire service, I commend you and thank you for your service. Honor the memory of those we remember today by maintaining the highest standards of the fire service and commitment to duty. And to those whose names are on this memorial, today we honor you with reflection, gratitude, and everlasting thanks. We will never forget your sacrifice. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. The next individual that is going to speak is someone that we've all known for a long time, is the Fire Marshal, William Degnan, who will say a few words, and it is truly a great privilege to ask him to come to the podium.
Thank you, Chief Johnson. Good afternoon. Governor Hassan, families of our fallen firefighters, brothers and sister firefighters, your families, and honored guests. We've all come together today on this Firefighters Memorial Sunday in this beautiful memorial built by firefighters for firefighters to take a moment in time to celebrate the dedication of these heroes in protecting lives and property. This year, we also honor two dedicated brother firefighters that lived the job that they love, protecting lives and property. Hopkinton Fire Chief Richard L. Schaefer and Bedford Fire Lieutenant James B. Clark. Firefighters' families also live the life of the fire service. The fire service is a family affair. The dedication and devotion of our families provides us with the much-needed support for all of us to provide this important life safety service. The support of our families goes beyond the emergency calls, as I often see our dedicated firefighters and their families supporting brother and sister firefighters during their times of need. We must never forget the sacrifice of firefighters who gave all, and all of you, their families, who shared these firefighters with us. As I think of that statement, we must never forget, I'm reminded at how fast time passes, and one of the many incidents that come to mind is a motor vehicle crash 20 years ago that took the life of Holderness Deputy Fire Chief Sam Baker while responding to a fire call. To all of you firefighters, when you respond with care and buckle your seatbelts. When I was traveling here today, I saw the beauty of our New Hampshire fall colors, and we just have to look around us and we can see many of those. And what came to mind is the artwork of James Clark, the artwork and poems that he had written and drawn over the years that many of us did not know that side of him. I also recall the smile and greetings of Jim when I visited the Bedford Fire Department. His personality and dedication to public service was also reflected in the beauty of his artwork and poetic writings. These fall colors also have vibrances, much like Chief Richard Schaefer. And he was a loving husband, father, grandfather, and I just learned how much he appreciated his vacations. And he led the Hopkinton Fire Department with pride, along with his dedication to ensuring the best for the public who lived in or visited the town of Hopkinton, and to ensure that they had the safest environment possible. Both of these brother firefighters exhibited the core values found in our state's fire service: honesty, dedication, honor, and courage. The fire service is constantly changing to meet our changing world. We are much safer today because of the dedication of individuals such as the firefighters we are honoring today, and all of you that constantly look to prevent fires and plan and train for the fire event so you can safely take care of those in need. This beautiful memorial service serves to remind me every day that I enter this campus that this profession is a profession with significant risks. We need to keep focused on prevention, education, and better engineering of our buildings to protect the public and our firefighters. During a busy day, when there's a lot of activity here on this campus, I have walked up around this memorial, and it brings a sense of peacefulness that no words can really describe. I hope you find this a place of peace as well. To the family members of these brave firefighters, I, as your state fire marshal, will never forget the sacrifice of these firefighters. President Bush said on September 11, 2001, "Today our nation saw evil, the very worst of human nature, and we responded with the best of America, with daring of our rescue workers, with the caring for strangers and neighbors who came to give blood and help in any way they could." This statement reminds me of the firefighter's badge, which is the Maltese Cross, to symbolize courage, protection, and the badge of honor. That is what a firefighter stands for in protecting the public. The memorial is constructed in the shape of a Maltese cross, in recognition of the dedication of our firefighters who symbolize all of these core values in the brotherhood. This New Hampshire Firefighters Memorial Sunday is a moment in time, one that we honor those who have gone before us, and a moment that has changed many lives forever. We look at this moment as being one that may have brought sadness, but definitely brings pride. Pride of being a firefighter and an American, and the greatest honor we can serve to these firefighters is that we continue working to provide the safest environment possible. A fire prevented saves lives of the public and our firefighters. We must never forget, all gave some gave all. None are ever forgotten. Thank you, and be safe.
The next one I have to really get right. That's my new boss. And I am very, very pleased to ask the Director of the New Hampshire Division of Fire Standards and Training and EMS, Director Deborah Pendergrass, to come and speak.
Thank you, Chief Johnson. Governor, Commissioner, fellow directors, family members, and brothers and sisters of the New Hampshire Fire and EMS Service, I want to thank you for joining us here today to help us honor the memories and sacrifices of our fallen New Hampshire Fire Service members. At this time, I'd like to take a moment to read a quick poem. It's called The Fallen. Rest now, my fallen brother, lay soft your suffering back. Rest well, and forever your memory shall not lack. Rest your tired hands, wipe clean your weary brow. Rest with St. Florian, your spirit now endowed. Rest here your breaking heart, we know you gave your all. Rest easy, you've done your part. You've answered your last call. Rest knowing that in God we sought. O Lord, watch over another who fell. Rest assured your troubled thought as we ring the final bell. This poem was written anonymously. Last year in 2012, the United States Fire Service suffered 81 firefighter line of duty deaths. In my opinion, that's 81 too many. Even though there have been advances in technology, training, and equipment, firefighters continue to die in the performance of selfless service to their communities. Here in New Hampshire, over the past 7 years, we have placed 76 names on the tablet of our memorial. In my opinion, that's 76 too many. As the new director of this Fire and EMS Academy, your Fire and EMS Academy, I pledge my commitment to do our part to help ensure that through training classes and programs such as the Firefighter Cancer Awareness Program, the IAFF Firefighter Survival Program, critical incident stress management training, firefighters suicide awareness, emergency vehicle driver training, and all of the other safety, health, and wellness initiatives, that we can look forward to the day that we put fewer names and possibly even stop putting names here on the New Hampshire Firefighter Memorial. On that, you have my word. Thank you.
What a great place. There's an old saying that he who sings prays twice. I would like to ask Captain Meredith Long to step forward and do a song for us.
Just to say your name. If all I had was one last prayer, I'd pray it 'cause I know you're always listening. If I could live 1,000 lives, bind the hands of time, I would spend every moment by your side, because I know you're there. I know you see me. You're the air I breathe. You are the ground beneath me. I know you're there. I know you hear me. I can find you anywhere. If all I had was one more song to sing, I would raise a noise to make the heavens ring. If all I had was one last chance, I'd take it, I would stake it all on you now. If I could rise up high, catch a glimpse of every eye, I would make them believe what I feel inside, because I know you're there. I know you see me. You're the air I breathe. You are the ground beneath me. I know you're there. I know you hear me. I can find you anywhere. If I could live 1,000 lives and bind the hands of time, you'd still be here. If I could rise up high, catch a glimpse of every eye, I know you're there. I know you see me. You're the air I breathe. You are the ground beneath me. I know you're there. I know you hear me. I can find you anywhere. I know you're there. I know you're there. I know you're there. You're there. You're there. You are there.
Would like to ask Chaplain Claggett from the Hopkinton Fire Department to return to the podium as we sadly add the names of 2 New Hampshire firefighters to the memorial.
I remember hearing someone say once that the common plight of humanity, one of the common plights of humanity, is that we tend to remember the things we should forget, and we tend to forget the things that we should remember. One of the functions of this memorial is that we remember what we should remember. Up until today, there were 74 names inscribed on this memorial, dating back to the 1880s. Today, of course, we add 2 more, bringing the total to 76. And so the following names this year are added to the memorial: Richard Joseph Schaefer. James B. Clark. The Honor Guard will now unveil the granite tablet bearing the names of Richard Schaefer and James Clark. Would you pray with me, please? O Lord God, as the list of names on this memorial is added to again this year, I pray that this will be a place of solace and rest, as the friends and loved ones of the fallen find strength in knowing that though these servants may be gone, they are not forgotten. May the Schaefer and Clark families and those in the departments they served, as often as they come here, find this to be a sacred place for reflection and remembering. But may this memorial and the names that are here also provide to all the motivation to seek to live lives of selfless service, as those who are memorialized here have done. And may we also all be reminded that the line between selfless service and paying the ultimate sacrifice is both fine and uncertain. And so may we ultimately look to you and to your Son, who also willingly gave himself for us in loving sacrifice. And so it is in his beautiful name that I pray. Amen.
Shortly before his passing, Jim Clark presented his daughters with a collection of watercolors and poetry that he had written on over his many years. He wanted his girls to have them should anything happen to him. Here to recite "They Count on You" is Bedford firefighter Jeff Humphrey.
They count on you. The fire lieutenant looked at the new recruits, the clean turnouts and shiny boots. He looked at them so eager and new, but in an emergency, what would they do? They'll need a level head and a steady hand. Most of all, they'll need to follow a command. You have, he said, chosen a noble profession. Keep your eyes open, each call has a lesson. Just being there is not enough. Learn from experience when the going gets tough. Indecision can be your downfall. The worst decision is no decision at all. You go in when they come out. You have to act fast, no room for doubt. Protecting the young, the old, and the handicapped. They count on you. They count on that. How could he know if they were listening to what he had said? How could he know it would end this way? They were just doing what they were taught, probably never gave it a second thought. When they died like heroes later that year, with those words still echoing in their ears, you go in when they come out. You'll have to act fast, no room for doubt. Protecting the young, the old, and the handicapped. Lieutenant James Clark.
Thanks, brother. I would now like to welcome Chief Ron Gannerman of the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial. Welcome, brother.
Governor, State Fire Marshal, brother and sister firefighters. Most of all, Rick and Jim's family. I'm so honored and humbled to be here today. As you can tell by now, I'm not from around here. So if someone can interpret, that would be great. I'd like to thank firefighter Earl Lincoln from Hooksett and Deputy Chief Mark Close of the Bedford Fire Department for the invitation to speak today. It's truly an honor for me to be here, and I'm humbled in your collective presence. I'd also like to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of the people who had the concept of building this memorial, being the New Hampshire Fire Chaplains and the New Hampshire Firemen's Association. Please let us also acknowledge those who put this phenomenal memorial service together today, the Honor Guard, the Pipes and Drums, the Fire Chiefs, and the firefighters of New Hampshire. Last weekend, Earl, Mark, myself, and hundreds of others were at the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial Ceremonies in Maryland, where we entered Chief Richard Schaefer of the Hopkinton Fire Department onto the National Memorial. Next year, we'll put Lieutenant James Clark on that same memorial. We know how much work goes into planning this type of an event, and on behalf of today's honored families, please help me thank everyone who had a hand in today's memorial. The dictionary definition of a family: A, a group of people who are related to each other. B, a person's children. C, a group of related people, including people who lived in the past. D, a group of people living under one roof. And E, a group of people united by a certain conviction or a common affiliation. The only thing left out by Merriam-Webster was love. Love is what makes a family, caring for one another and holding unconditional love for one another. That's what takes place in a home. That's what takes place in a firehouse, some more than others. I truly believe that love drives the family unit. The first couple of definitions applied to Rick and Jim, and I call them Rick and Jim. I never met them. I didn't have to meet them. They were brother firefighters. And everybody where I come from has a nickname, and I will not tell you what mine is. Their rapid departure from this earth in the line of duty left a hole and a gap that could never be filled in their homes, and it also left a hole and a gap at the firehouse with their other family. But as much pain and sorrow you all experienced that day and may still, today is truly a celebration of life. We celebrate the lives of two men who loved their families, their fire service, and their community they served. This is a celebration of the lives of two ordinary men who did extraordinary things. Humble, brave, and courageous men. This monument that bears their name, so all can see that in fact, we never forget those who serve with honor and distinction. It not only honors Rick and Jim, but every firefighter who served in this great country before them and who will serve from now on. It's a testament to the dedication of the brave men and women who raised or who will raise their right hand and take the oath. In 1899, Chief Edward F. Croker, chief of the New York City Fire Department, said, "When a man becomes a fireman, his greatest act of bravery has already been accomplished. What he does after that is all in the line of his work." Yes, this is our line of work and what we chose to do. However, without family, we couldn't have done it. Those of us here today that wear a badge know about the missed holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, soccer games, and the list goes on and on. Family support through all of that is what makes us able to do what we do. Today, we pause to thank our own families and the families of Rick and Jim for sharing them with us, because we are richer for it. As we reflect and celebrate the lives of Rick and Jim, or by now we'd be calling them Ricky and Jimmy, and what the fire service is, three things come to mind: duty, honor, and commitment. Duty, the need to act in the face of adverse conditions no matter what the outcome. Honor, to hold the traditions of the fire service as sacred in our hearts and minds and to never tarnish our badge. Commitment, knowing that serving as a firefighter is a lifelong journey and serving our community is a lasting endeavor. Rick and Jim served with distinction. These men were heroes for the heroes, although they would never admit to it. Ask any firefighter who received the Medal of Valor. They'll tell you they were just doing their job and what they were trained for. They're usually embarrassed and then talk about their unit or their company and the fact that it was a group effort. The word heroes doesn't enter. From our perspective, we consider real heroes single working moms with 5 kids living in an urban center and keeping their kids off drugs, out of gangs, and in school. Our job is to provide a reasonable level of safety and comfort so those real heroes can do their work. Rick and Jim, like all of us, never asked upon receiving an alarm, what is the color of your skin or what is your income level? We respond quickly, get in between the people and their problem, and make their problem go away. They are simply grateful that we showed up and trust us implicitly. They hold the door for us when we get to their home and allow us to enter with no questions asked to take care of their teenage daughter who's in pajamas having an allergic reaction, or their elderly mother having a cardiac issue. All the while, the cash, wallets, and the jewelry sit on the dresser, and no one seems to care. Rick and Jim were trusted members of their community. They had the public trust. They inspire the rest of us to continue the mission of preventing fires and protecting people from fire's deathly grip with honor, duty, and commitment. In all our days as firefighters and all of our glory, we've had dark days. Worcester, Massachusetts, and Keokuk, Iowa in 1999, the Walbaum's fire in Brooklyn, New York in 1978, the 23rd Street fire in Manhattan in 1966, and of course September 11th. It's our rich history, however, that helps us to stand up and regroup and go forward from tragedy. The American firefighter will not curl up in a ball and go away. We will come back harder and faster. It's who we are, and it's what we are. Someone once said, a setback is a setup for a comeback. You can knock us down, but you can never count us out. We've been doing this way, way too long. Early conflagrations in our country got people to take notice. The Jamestown settlement burned in 1608, and in 1622, the Plymouth settlement burned to the ground. The first American firefighters were the people who lived in Jamestown. They were going to fires 100 years before our founder, Benjamin Franklin, was born. In the 19th century, the Great Chicago Fire, and the same day, a conflagration in Peshtigo, Wisconsin, which no one but me knows about. The 20th century brought us the Coconut Grove nightclub fire in Boston, the aircraft carrier Constellation in the Brooklyn Navy Yard, and the Beverly Hills Supper Club fire in Southgate, Kentucky. 10 years ago, the Station nightclub fire in West Warwick, Rhode Island, about 3 hours from here. These fires took hundreds of lives of civilians, yet our resiliency sent us back to the books to create stronger codes, improve our equipment, and master our craft. The firefighters we lost in the past inspire us to do that. We learn our lessons and move toward improvement. Today, the United States Fire Service is called to duty 30 million times a year, 1.5 million fires. Our rich history continues. As we part from here today, let us reflect on just a few thoughts. I'd like to first address the families of Rick and Jim. As fire service survivors, know that you are not alone. You have the support of your home fire departments, the New Hampshire Fire Service at large. You also have the support of the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. You are not alone now and never will be alone. We have made a solemn vow to never forget your loved one or you, and we won't. I wish you all peace, love, and solace. To my brother and sister firefighters who knew Rick and Jim, you too have suffered a loss of a family member. The fire service family nationwide lost 2 family members. When a firefighter is lost in the line of duty, we all feel it coast to coast. Remember that you are also not alone. There are 1 million firefighters with you as well. Remember to continue the mission of prevention and protection, keeping in mind the highest ideals of the fire service as exhibited by your fallen colleagues. Continue to serve with distinction through honor, duty, and commitment. Thank you again for allowing me to help honor Chief Richard Schaefer and Lieutenant James Clark today. May God bless all of you. Thank you.
I don't know if I should tell everybody this, but we met before the ceremony today, and we were talking, and there was some mention of age. Chief had said that people teased him and accused him of actually being the chauffeur driving the horses for Ben Franklin. I told him I knew exactly how he felt, that Ben Franklin had been a student of mine in recruit school. Please welcome Heidi Packard with the Grand Estate Fire Support Team and the Low Country Firefighter Support Team in Charleston, South Carolina.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2013 New Hampshire Firefighters Memorial. My name is Heidi Packard. I recognize many of you here today, some by face, some by your facial hair, other by your facial expressions. On January 11th, 2006, my husband, Lieutenant David Packard of the Swansea Fire Department, suffered a fatal heart attack after responding to a call. On that day, not only did my expression change, so did the familiar faces of our friends and fire department members. Grief delivers you a first-class ticket on the emotional express train. There were no choices. Like it or not, you and your trunk of the grief process were tossed on board. I didn't ask for this, and I certainly never imagined being put there at age 35. One thing that has helped me over the years is knowing I'm not alone. When I meet other people who share similar grief, it gives me courage. Connecting with them gives me hope. So I like using visuals. So when I think of things that connect or belong together, I think of Oreo cookies and milk. Sometimes you're the Oreo, sometimes you're the milk. But no matter what, they belong together, and they complement each other. So I have come up with the meanings for each letter representing what I call the Oreo facts. T, together. Your together is gone. All you can do is wonder if you'll ever feel together again, or be a together. H, heartache. Your heart aches with this indescribable pain of broken. E, events. Everything you do are your first. Every annual event, every holiday, grocery shopping, or pumping your own gas. Starting that day, everything is your first. O, overwhelmed. Everything in your world has changed, and every day there is one more change. How are you not supposed to feel overwhelmed? R, reaction. How are you supposed to react when someone says to you, it's time to get over it? How do they know that it's time? How dare they even say that? And then you question yourself, is it time? E, emotions. The emotions are taking you over physically. You start to overthink everything. O, out of sight, out of mind. Will people forget your loved one? Will they forget about your children or your family or you? F, profound. Then the day comes. You meet the first person that listens to you, actually listens to your every word and each worry. Did they find your hope? Is this real? A, allowing this person inside is hard. You can't help but wonder if they are going to disappear after they see you through a hard day. There'll be more hard days. And do they really care? C, consistent. By now you have had several hard days, and your person is still here. Soon you realize that person does care, and they have introduced you to more people that care. Yet you still wonder, will they stay? T, trust. After all the hurt and the lost friendship, trust does not come easy. I get that. But when someone reaches out for you, reach back. And when others reach out, reach back for them as well. Take the chance on building those friendships. I soon realized that those reaches were contagious. You start with a third, then you meet another third, and before you know it, they have scooped you up between them and have fixed every broken promise, opened your heart, and rebuilt your trust. And before you know it, you are part of the full package of Oreos, of true friendships, with a pickle on the side. S, survivor. That is what I am. That is what you are. Through the love and trust of my Oreo cookies and pickle on the side, I no longer feel that being a survivor is a sentence. It's a badge of honor. Every time I reach out to another survivor, I'm honoring my husband. So I'll leave you with this. If a survivor is having, I need a whole bag of Oreos with a pickle on the side kind of day, just bring the milk.
Quick march.
Now, representatives of the State Fire Marshal's Office, the State Firemen's Association, the New Hampshire Association of Fire Chiefs, and the Professional Firefighters of New Hampshire will read the names of New Hampshire firefighters who lost their lives in the line of duty in service to their community. When your family or department member's name is read, please take a carnation and set it upon their name in their memory. From the Office of the Fire Marshal, Fire Marshal Bill Dagnan. For the Professional Firefighters of New Hampshire, Firefighter Aaron Lambert. For the New Hampshire State Firemen's Association, Deputy Chief Michael Hoisington. And from the New Hampshire Association of Fire Chiefs, Chief Jason Lyon.
Hopkinton Fire Department, Richard Joseph Schaefer. Amherst Fire Department, Bruce Tarpley. Brookline Fire Department, Edward Gay. Canterbury Fire Department, Lawrence Charbonneau. Charlestown Fire Department, David K. Lumbra. Claremont Fire Department, William Palmer. Deerfield Fire Department, Leon Harvey. Exeter Fire Department, George Marcotte. Franklin Fire Department, Peter Savoy. Franklin Fire Department, Charles R. Dodge. Franklin Fire Department, Robert Cunningham. Franklin Fire Department, Morris St. Jacques.
Bedford Fire Department, James B. Clark. Concord Fire Department, Amos Turner. Connie O'Brien. William Hapney. Leo Blodgett. Russell Robinson. And Stephen Cotter. Manchester Fire Department, Thomas E. Gorman. Alfred Gustafson. Michael Kelly. Arthur Casafant. Frank W. Tebbets. Albert Tucker. Luis A. Cody, Frank H. Harvey, Michael Murphy, Rosario Doucette, John O'Malley, Frank J. Rutton, James T. Pigeon, finally, Dave A. Anderson.
From the Barnstead Fire Department, Kenneth Smith. Burton Bowen. Stephen Jones. Bristol Fire Department, Forrest Martin. Vernon Tilton. Earl Wells. Dover Fire Rescue, George Grenier. Fremont Fire Department, Clarence Philbrick. Goffstown Fire Department, Hector Pellerin. Hampton Fire Department, Brian Litchfield. Hillsborough Fire Department, Richard Cross. Holderness Fire Department, Lauren Baker. Hooksett Fire Department, Richard Hemian. Hudson Fire Department, James A. Taylor. Laconia Fire Department, Morris Benwell. Mark Miller. Meredith Fire Department, Cecil Smith. Middleton Fire Department, Earl V. Duddle III. Milford Fire Department, Walter B. Merrill. Harold H. Richardson. And James K. Weatherby.
From the Nashua Fire Department, George McConney, Alfred LaPlante, Raymond Duplessis, Honor Raymond, David Sullivan, Mark Bouchard, Guy Lewis, Silvio Vino, Robert Plouffe, Larry Volts, Christopher DeWolf. Newport Fire Department, Rodney Tilton. Arthur Ford. New Hampshire Forest and Division, Emmett R. Buckley. Rawlingsford Fire Department, Robert Bucaris. Salem Fire Department, Charles Kimball. Sandown Fire Department, Harold Frey. Seabrook Fire Department, Myron Velch. Swansea Fire Department, David Packard. The Wolfboro Fire Department, Samuel H. Libby. Lyle A. Colby. Eugene F. Leonard.
Thank you, Fire Marshal Dignan, Lieutenant Lambert, Deputy Chief Hoisington, and Chief Lyon. What's really, to me, very striking is that as you look over the crowd, New Hampshire being the state it is, how many of us know each other, kind of grown up together. With that in mind, Chief Ratzel, if you would come forward, please. Chief Ratzel will introduce the next segment of the program.
The fire service of today is ever changing, but one that remains steeped in traditions of over 200 years. One such tradition is the sounding of the bell. In the past, as firefighters began their tour of duty, it was the bell that signaled the beginning of that day's shift. Throughout the day and the night, each alarm was sounded by a bell, which summoned these brave souls to fight fires and to place their lives in jeopardy for the good of their fellow citizen. And when the fire was out and the alarm had come to an end, it was the bell that signaled to all the completion of that call. When a firefighter dies in the line of duty, making the supreme sacrifice, it was the mournful toll of the bell that solemnly announced a comrade's passing. We utilize these traditions as symbols which reflect honor and respect for those who have given so much and who have served so well. To symbolize the devotion that firefighters have for their duty, Box 555 will be transmitted, representing the end of that firefighter's duties, and that they will be returning to quarters And so, to those who have selflessly given their lives for the good of the citizens of New Hampshire, their tasks completed, their duties well done. To our comrades on their last alarm, they are going home.
I would like to ask Chaplain Clegg to come up and give the benediction for us before we close today. Chaplain.
Now, friends, may the peace of God fill you. May the compassion of God go with you to comfort you. May the power and strength of God uphold and provide for you. And as we just heard the pipes play that beloved old hymn, may the grace and love and mercy of God go with you and pursue you and draw you to himself. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. To the families of all the fallen firefighters, please accept our gratitude for your sacrifice. As a family and the fire service family, please accept our love and our sharing of your heartbreak. Thank you all for coming. We made a promise that we would remember. Let us keep that promise. Please stand for the retrieval of the Memorial Guard.